Hello and welcome to The Real Film. We are here to provide you with a list of the best 10 horror movies on Netflix, 2023. Kindly remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Now let's start the video. Number 10. Creep 2. Creep 2 is a 2017 American found footage psychological horror film directed by Patrick Brice and written by Brice and Mark Duplass. A prolific serial killer, using the name Aaron after a previous victim, finds himself dissatisfied with his killings and undergoing a midlife crisis. When his latest ad for a videographer lures YouTuber Sarah to his remote cabin, Aaron changes his approach by admitting he is a serial killer who will let Sarah live for the next 24 hours if she records a documentary on his life. Sarah, doubting his revelation, agrees to film Aaron in the hope that the video will popularize her unsuccessful web series about eccentric Craigslist clients. The film had its world premiere at the Sitges Film Festival on October 6, 2017, and was released on October 24, 2017, by The Orchard. On review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 100% based on 26 reviews, with an average rating of 7.6. Number 9. The Conjuring. The Conjuring is a 2013 American supernatural horror film directed by James Wan and written by Chad Hayes and Carrie W. Hayes. Set in 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perrin move into a farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island, with their 5 daughters, Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April. Their dog, Sadie, refuses to enter the house and the entrance to a cellar has been boarded up. Paranormal events occur within the first few nights. Every clock in the house stops at 3:07 a.m. Sadie is found dead in the morning, and Carolyn wakes up with large bruises. She and Christine both encounter a malevolent spirit. The Conjuring was released in the United States and Canada on July 19, 2013. The review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes reports an 86% approval rating based on 226 reviews and an average rating of 7.2. Number 8. Crimson Peak. Crimson Peak is a 2015 gothic romance film 5, directed by Guillermo del Toro and written by del Toro and Matthew Robbins. Set in 1887 Buffalo, New York, an American-era Edith Cushing, daughter of wealthy businessman Carter Cushing, is visited by her mother's ghost who warns, "Beware of Crimson Peak." In 1901, Edith is now a budding author, and meets English Baronet Sir Thomas Sharp and his sister, Lucille. Thomas seeks investors for his invention, a digging machine to revive his family's clay mines, but Mr. Cushing rejects his proposal. Thomas and Edith become romantically attached, leading her father to hire a private detective who uncovers unsavory facts about the Sharp siblings. Mr. Cushing bribes them to leave America, forcing Thomas to break Edith's heart by disparaging her and her novel. Crimson Peak held its world premiere at Fantastic Fest, in Austin, Texas, on September 25, 2015. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a 73% approval rating based on 284 reviews, with an average rating of 6.60. Number 7. I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I'm Thinking of Ending Things is a 2020 American surrealist psychological thriller film written and directed by Charlie Kaufman. In the movie, a young woman contemplates ending her approximately 7-week relationship with her boyfriend Jake while on a trip to meet his parents at their farm. During the drive, Jake attempts to recite a poem he read when he was younger, Ode, Intimations of Immortality, and asks the young woman to recite an original poem of hers to pass time. After she recites a morbid poem about coming home, they arrive at the farmhouse owned by Jake's parents. Jake takes her to the barn, where he recounts a story about how the farm's pigs died after being eaten alive by maggots. Throughout the film, the main narrative is intercut with footage of an elderly janitor working at a high school, including scenes in which he sees students rehearsing Oklahoma, and watches a romantic comedy film. I'm Thinking of Ending Things was released in select theaters on August 28, 2020, and on Netflix on September 4, 2020. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reports that 82% of 262 critic reviews are positive, with an average rating of 7.5. Number 6. Creep. Creep is a 2014 American found footage psychological horror film directed by Patrick Brice. The movie is about a struggling videographer, Aaron, who accepts an assignment to travel to a remote cabin, where he meets his client Joseph. Joseph explains that he has an inoperable brain tumor and is expected to die before his pregnant wife Angela gives birth, so he wishes to have Aaron record a video diary for his unborn child. Throughout the day, Joseph demonstrates eccentric behavior that makes Aaron uneasy, which culminates in Joseph confessing that he raped his wife. As an increasingly disturbed Aaron is hindered from departing by being unable to locate his car keys, He intercepts a phone call from Angela, who reveals she is actually Joseph's sister and urges Aaron to escape. Joseph, however, attempts to stop Aaron from leaving, leading to a scuffle that ends with Aaron getting away. The film premiered on March 8, 2014, at South by Southwest, and was released on video on demand on June 23, 2015, by The Orchard prior to an international release via Netflix on July 14, 2015. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 90% based on 31 reviews, with an average rating of 7.30. Number 5. It Follows. It Follows is a 2014 American supernatural psychological horror film written and directed by David Robert Mitchell. The movie starts with a young woman named Danny, who flees from her house in fear, but there is no visible threat. She takes her parents' car and drives to the beach, where she tearfully tells her father over the phone that she loves him. At dawn, it is revealed that she has been brutally murdered. Afterwards, Jamie J. Height goes on a date with her new boyfriend, Hugh, to the movies. Hugh points out a young girl in the back of the theater. When Jay says she cannot see the girl, Hugh becomes unnerved and asks that they leave. It Follows premiered at the 2014 Cannes Film Festival on May 17, 2014. It was released theatrically in France on February 4, 2015 on review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes. It holds a 95% approval rating and a rating average score of 8.10, based on 270 reviews. Number 4. Midnight Mass. Midnight Mass is an American Gothic supernatural horror streaming television miniseries created and directed by Mike Flanagan. The premise of the movie is about a young man who returns to his isolated hometown on Crockett Island, hoping to rebuild his life after serving 4 years in prison for killing someone in a drunk driving incident. He arrives at the same time as a mysterious, charismatic young priest who begins to revitalize the town's flagging faith. However, the community's divisions are soon exacerbated by the priest's deeds while mysterious events befall the small town. It was released on Netflix on September 24, 2021. The review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes reports an 86% approval rating with an average rating of 8.10, based on 96 critic reviews. Number 3. The Haunting of Hill House is an American supernatural horror drama streaming television miniseries created and directed by Mike Flanagan, produced by Amblin Television and Paramount Television, for Netflix. The setting of the movie starts in summer of 1992, where Hugh and Olivia Crane and their 5 children, Stephen, Shirley, Theodora, Theo, Luke, and Eleanor, Nell, move into Hill House to renovate the mansion in order to sell it and build their own house, designed by Olivia. However, due to unexpected repairs, they have to stay longer, and they begin to experience increasing paranormal phenomena, resulting in a tragic loss and the family fleeing from the house. 26 years later, the Crane siblings and their estranged father reunite after another tragedy strikes them, and they are forced to confront how their time in Hill House has affected each of them. The plot alternates between 2 timelines, following 5 adult siblings whose paranormal experiences at Hill House continue to haunt them in the present day, and flashbacks depicting events leading up to the eventful night in 1992 when the family fled from the mansion. The series premiered on Netflix on October 12, 2018. On Rotten Tomatoes, The Haunting of Hill House has a 93% certified fresh rating based on 103 reviews, with an average rating of 8.4. Number 2. His House. His House is a 2020 horror thriller film written and directed by Remy Weeks from a story by Felicity Evans and Toby Venables. The movie starts with Bol and Riol as refugees fleeing with their daughter, Nyagak, from war-torn South Sudan. They brave stormy waters on an overcrowded motorboat, along with fellow refugees traversing the perilous English Channel from France in search of a better life. Although they survive the treacherous crossing, their daughter and many others do not. When they are finally granted probational asylum in Britain 3 months later, the government assigns them a shabby house with peeling walls and dismal furnishings on the outskirts of London. They are given strict restrictions or they may face deportation. They experience racism and hatred from their tenement neighbors. They are met by their caseworker Mark, who tells them he hopes they are 2 of the good ones. It had its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival on January 27, 2020. Netflix acquired distribution rights to the film. It was released on October 30, 2020. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 100% based on 118 reviews, with an average rating of 8/10. Number 1. Raw, French, Grave, is a 2016 French-Belgian coming-of-age horror drama film written and directed by Julia Ducournau. The movie starts with Justine, a lifelong vegetarian who begins her first semester at veterinary school, The same one her older sister Alexia is attending and where their parents met. On her first night, she meets her roommate Adrian, and they are forced to partake in a week-long hazing ritual, welcoming the new students. They are brought to a party, where Alexia shows Justine old class photos of students bathed in blood, including one with their parents. The next morning, the new class is splattered with blood and is forced to eat raw rabbit kidneys. Justine refuses because of her vegetarianism, but Alexia forces her to eat one. Justine leaves with Adrian and later discovers an itchy rash all over her body. She goes to the doctor, who diagnoses her with food poisoning and gives her cream for the rash. The film premiered at the 2016 Cannes Film Festival on May 14, 2016 and was theatrically released in the United States on March 10, 2017 by Focus World review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes reports a 93% approval score based on 200 reviews and an average rating of 7.9. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video, and do subscribe to our channel.